What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premzy TV. The biggest game of the Premier League season is here, people. Finally, we've had to wait months and months, but it's Arsenal versus Manchester City, and we've got some big guests in the cut today. As you can see, you got my fellow Arsenal brother, Troopz. What you telling me, dog? You good?
Man, I had to get the fresh trim for the 3 points. You get me, blood? You know, man's got to be looking good when man's sending for these pussios on the fan cam. You get me? Player ratings, and you understand if my ticket comes through the vlog as well, blood. You know, like that.
Say no more, bro. Say no more. And we had to bring on a debutant on the show, man like Hugh from the Big Six. What you telling me, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm nervous for this one. 11 o'clock in the morning and Troopz is coming through like that already, man. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm not awake yet.
You know what? I'm not.
We the ones, bro. We the one, bro. You understand? We the one.
Is this a triple threat match or something, bro? I don't know about WWE.
Hey, listen, it's Elimination Chamber on Saturday. I'm ready in there. You understand?
Nah, it's all a madness. But look, we're going to be playing City. For me, I think it's the biggest game of the season, barring none. I think we've waited a long time for this now. Reschedule matches, obviously due to the passing of the Queen and so on. But it's finally here. And for me, Troopz, I feel like it's a little bit of a bad time to play City. We're out of form. We're kind of hitting a wall. What do you think the situation is going to be? Do you reckon you're going to see confidence from the boys, or do you reckon it's going to be City on the front foot and we're going to try to have to hit on the counter? How's it going to work out? How do you see this game playing out?
From the Etihad, like the first half at the Etihad in the FA Cup, even with all them changes, I felt comfortable. I felt that if we had a full team, even if not even a full team, a stronger team, a couple more men had started, I think maybe we could have nicked something. You understand? Second half, obviously, Lokonga come on, and you know what happens then, blood. You understand? The midfield goes to shit, blood. You understand? It's just a big donut in the middle, fam. A donut and Xhaka. You understand? Them times, City's form was a bit up and down. You get me? Now, last couple games, they look a bit more like themselves. Pep's said, fuck it. Man's putting the proper defenders in now. He's had enough of Ake. He's had enough of Akanji. You see Laporte and Diaz come in. You see Walker come back. So, yeah, even down to like Gundogan and them, man. Foden's back in the squad. You know, he get me. It's a mad one, Prems. You get me? It's because it's at Emirates. I think the fans as well will play a big part. You understand? The Emirates has been lit this year. You get me? Compared to previous seasons, even when we go 1-0 down, you understand? There's still like a belief. So I think the fans have a big part to play. But confidence-wise, I don't know, blood. You get me?
It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because we've been so confident flying all season. And like I said, we've come at a stage where we've actually had a few results where we've dropped points in a row. And that's not really been like Arsenal this season. And Man City, we know what Man City can do. They could turn up to town and they could just absolutely annihilate, man. We've not beat Man City for years now. When you deep the situation, bro, like Man City roll us over home and away every single season. Now, Hugh, yeah, your boys, FFP, all this news around Pep Guardiola calling out Steven Gerrard. Are they rattled or are they hungry, bro?
They're hungry, man. They're hungry. I got a sense of, particularly that first half performance against Villa on Sunday. It was something I hadn't seen in a long time. And I probably, like, we're using this to our advantage, which is absolutely mad. I think the Premier League made a mistake. They've woken the beast, essentially. You know what I mean? They pissed us off. We've been lackadaisical all season. We've been sloppy, inconsistent. 1 week class, 1 week crap. We needed something huge to come in and shake things up. And I think the week went perfect for us, you know, us as content creators in the City side of things, the fans online, the fans before the stadium. We created a siege mentality. Like, all right, you can try to kick us while we're down, but you're not going to keep us down. We're going to use this as motivation and inspiration. Pep's press conference, man, an absolute banger of a press conference. He's got stick for it. Last night in the Big Six, man, I was being told by man it was cringe and, you know, he shouldn't speak like that. If he speaks like that before every press conference and we play like that every game, become a dickhead, become a full-time dickhead. I'm happy to do so. And then the players play like that. he made the right decisions tactically in terms of selections as well. You know, Laporte and Diaz, the two pillars at the back, they're so huge for absolutely everything we do. In defense, breaking up attacks. You know what Diaz can do. And then ball playing wise, Laporte is just clear of Ake and Akanji. So it improves our overall game. Sunday was like a taste of, right, we still have that, you know, penetrating, punishing City DNA that we need to carry on. It means absolutely nothing if we don't go and get bare minimum for me, a draw on the Emirates. So for me, you're probably catching us at a bad time. You're catching us at an angry moment where we feel like the world is against us. There's a vengeance on our back, and you're going through a blip. I mean, like, I think it's fair to say it's been all sunshine and rainbows in the Emirates so far this season. Everything's gone your way, playing great football, Ashburton Army. You know, it's a great vibe, great place to be, the Emirates. But listen, a stumbling block came your way. You decided to rotate against us in the FA Cup. I thought I was a little bit arrogant to say that you're willing to throw the FA Cup to focus on the Premier League. Bigger fish to fry, I was told. The fish came along, you didn't fry them, man. They're still frozen. Everton and Brentford. Now, we failed against those two, but you know
frozen? The man, they're still in the fucking sea, blood.
Exactly.
The man, they even got caught, fam. The man, they dodged the bait. It's all the bait. Yo, fuck that.
Exactly. So where I'm at now is, can Arsenal, a young, inexperienced Arsenal team, a great team, technically great team, loads of great footballers, but without that experience of these pressurizing situations in a title race, different the top four, a different level of pressure, can they get back into that run, into that momentum that they had before the World Cup break? That just remains to be seen. And would a loss to City, your direct title rivals, tomorrow night be like the killer blow? Would it completely derail them? So that's what I want to know.
You know what, Hugh, though? I wouldn't say everything's gone our way, because Sky Sports did come out with a few of them decisions, and we would have been about 11 to 15 points clear if they went our way.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Marcus Rashford decided to play offside. He wasn't interfering with play.
You know what I mean? We're gonna have to
every week.
You know what? With the FA Cup, yeah, look, obviously with you have a bit of a different mindset, because you have had a squad to compete on all fronts for year in, year out. I think with what we done with the FA Cup, we won it the most times, and it's not like we've thrown it away. We give other players opportunities to see if they can come and fit into the first role. But we did prioritize the Premier League 100%, because we haven't won the fucker in 18 years, bro. And this is our best chance to potentially go and win that competition. And if it is, go for it. You get me? That's how I see it. But Troopz, look, there is nowhere doubt. We have halted a little bit now, yeah. Going into this game, where do you want to see the changes? Where do you want to see players coming in? Because many people have been talking about Martinelli, saying that they want to see a little bit of a rotation there. Others are saying maybe we could switch it up, Trossard for Nketiah. Tomiyasu could come into the team. Would you go with the same 11, or would you bring a few different players in to freshen it up a bit?
I'd switch it up, blood. You get me? The front line for me needs to be switched. For me, Trossard needs to come in, Nketiah needs to go out. I'm not hearing this Martinelli outing, Martinelli in. You understand? I'm not hearing no pride business. There's no pride business around here. Big up them man there, but no one's out like pride, blood. You get me? Martinelli's in like I'm in the pum-pum, blood. Straight in. Phew! You understand? Man sit in the back of the ting, boom, bang, bing. But banter aside, Benny Blanco, he has been fantastic this season, but since the World Cup, he's fell off a cliff. I think Saliba, he has been like, I got him in the back of my shirt, pause, on the third kit, the pink one. And I would say that I've been pushing Saliba the hardest, pause, out of majority of the fan base on like who does like in the YouTube world, because when we signed him, I heard about Varane, he's this. So I said, all right, cool, let me go watch him. When I see what he's dealing with, I'm like, yo, dog, this guy is actually on smoke. Fofana and him was in the same team in St. Etienne, and he was the one they were picking up, not Fofana. Fofana come here and absolutely bossed it at Leicester. Unlucky with his injuries at City, City, Chelsea. So obviously I knew to myself, like, Steve was going to come in here and do a good job. But even him, like, I think him not playing in the World Cup has kind of, he's hit a brick wall now, blood, because before that he had momentum, he was bossing the thing, and now it's like, at the start of the season, if you looked at our defense and you was like, who you're more worried about at the centre-back position, Gabriel or Saliba, I would say Gabriel. But now it's like Gabriel is kind of secretly carrying Saliba. You get me? And I'm all for that, you understand, because he's a young man. It's his first season. He's going to have up and down patches. But the front line for me is what needs to change, because there's no fluidity, there's no interchanging, there's no creativity. It's static, it's predictable. For me, that's what has to change, blood. You get me? Zinni, I would have dropped Zinni for the Brentford game and played him in this game, because obviously he knows City, he knows how to deal with their threats, he knows how to break them down as well, like a bad B. So I would keep the defense the same. For me, Ben White, if you don't perform against City, Tomiyasu has to come back in.
Bro,
he's on his last. For me,
straight away, fam.
For me, he's on his last string, blood. Because of what he's done this season, I give you one more chance, blood. Here's your chance. It's a big game, the biggest game in the season at home. Prove to me that you are still the number one right back for this season. You don't. If you fuck up this time, Aston Villa away, Tomiyasu's back in, blood. You get me?
But we need to get out of the mindset, though, of just you have to be that main solid right back. We got two good players in that position. Rotate him. For me, you just touched on William Saliba there. Is no fault, that Saliba you're not seeing the best kind of performance out of him, because Ben White on the right, since the World Cup's come back, since we come back from the World Cup, we haven't seen that same Ben White, in my opinion. You get me? He's lackadaisy when it comes to defending. You get me? He looks like he's more worried about his tan than anything else, bro. Big man thing. You get me? Because I just don't see the defending that we've seen from early parts of the season. And I think that is at detriment to how Saliba plays his game as well. Because sometimes you've seen Saliba having to cover over on the right-hand side, and Gabriel's more in Saliba's position. If you clock the play, you clock it. You get me? So I think Tomiyasu comes in, he gives us that sturdiness, he gives us that technical defensive ability, and as well, he does overlap where we haven't been seeing Ben White really overlapping too tough. So I want to see something a little bit different, bro. Definitely do, man. But Hugh, obviously, we played you in the FA Cup. For me, the first half, I thought that we were the better team. He could have went on and scored. I think Thomas Partey, like Troopz touched on, came off, Lokonga came on, and the game kind of turned on its head. How did you see that game? Did that game give you any kind of doubt or make you a little bit scared to play Arsenal at the Emirates?
I didn't take a huge amount away from that game, if I'm being totally honest. I think Arsenal fans probably downplayed how much we rotated. I think we're very crystal clear as to if Pep's picking his strongest 11, we know who's in it. We know that the backup players are serviceable. They can do a good job, but they don't bring that same energy as the main guys. So we did rotate, and we had problems in the squad. You know, things coming out like Bernardo Silva saying he doesn't want to be there. It was quite clear there was huge issues with Joao Cancelo, and that obviously came out a couple of weeks later. Arsenal, I knew they had levels to go up. I I think it was a balanced game. I think anybody could have won it on the night. It wasn't one-sided. No team outshone the other. We both had purple patches. You guys look stronger in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes, as you would when you bring on your Odegaards and your Martinellis and whatnot. But I think we did a good job, considering the second half, it was close to your strongest team, or like it was a pretty strong team. You had almost a full back four.
Yeah, we had six first teamers that would normally play were out from the starting lineup, where the team that you played, you would say that was your main, like for the last few games before that. That's the same team that Pep fielded out in the Premier League. So that's why I think we was going with maybe if Kyle Walker was in there, it'd probably be a little bit different over that. Was it Rico Lewis, is it?
Rico Lewis, yeah.
But at that particular time, that was just the team that you were fielding out in the Premier League, where we went into that with 6 of our main starters out of it. So obviously, you can argue the argument of now because your big boys have stepped back 10 over one game. You're just saying that this is your strongest team. I don't know, fam. I don't know.
But listen, Premsy, the thing is with this is like, it is the team that Pep was picking in the Premier League for weeks, and it was doing okay. Like, we were picking up results. You know, we lost at Old Trafford, sloppy sort of win at Stamford Bridge and whatnot. But we all knew that there's much more to come from this team, or there's much more in this team. Like, he wasn't playing the tried and trusted players. Some were injured. You know, Ruben Diaz had an injury. Laporte's had injuries. John Stones is never fit. Kyle Walker, Pep spoke about this week, has had, I don't know, body language problems, and he looks a lot better. He's saying it wasn't that City team that you go, right, this is going to be able to beat absolutely anybody. It was a team that you kind of go, right, they can do, but there's a lot of untrusted players, unproven players. I mean, you're telling me a right back who's 18 years old, Enrico Lewis, you're going to give him the reins for the season and tell him you're going to have to mark people like Rashford all season, people like Martinelli all season. I don't want that. Even if Kyle Walker's out of form, bring him back in because you trust him. You know, he's that guy. So That's the team I think he'll go with for Wednesday. Much more trusted team. Get out of the laboratory, put the test tubes away, stop experimenting, and go back to basics, as Fabian Delph says, the basics of football, because that's what works for us.
I'm just hoping there's a little bit of ring rust. I'm hoping there's a little bit of ring rust. That's what I'm hoping. But look, yeah, let me just ask you this before we move to Troopz. Is Haaland going to be playing? Because I'm hearing that he might be injured for this game.
No, I can confirm 100% he trained as normal yesterday morning.
Oh my days. I was hoping that he was out injured. I'm not going to lie. I don't really wish the best on top players when they play us. But look, Troopz, yeah, look, we've heard City seem confident. You get me? They seem like this is it. They're going to come to the Emirates and they're going to reclaim that first spot. If we want to win this league, do we have to win this game?
I done said on the pod, if we don't win this game, the league's done. No draws, nothing, blood. If you want to win a league title, you have to beat the champions in your own patch. You get me? It's simple as you have to beat them in your own patch, or you have to beat them at their patch, blood. You get me? When we were winning league titles, we were beating teams. United will come to Highbury, we'd beat them, we'd go away, we'd beat them. We beat them home and away, blood. You
Literally.
get me? You have to put down a statement. You understand? I said on the pod that we haven't beat these man for fucking years, let alone at the Emirates, than to go up to the Etihad and have any thought process of going up to the Etihad, blood. I've seen beatdown upon beatdowns at that fucking running track of a stadium, blood. Yeah, fucking commute. They should call that the Man City Community Stadium, blood. Yeah, it's like Brentford, bro.
Not since 2015. You beat us in the league.
Exactly, blood. Do you understand? Fucking Donkey Kong was up.
I was about to kill someone there last season,
bro. Man, like Donkey Kong was up. That's how bad it was, blood. You understand? Like, and we have to beat them, bro. Because if we don't beat them, then there's gonna be no confidence going into that game in April. You understand? They're not gonna go to the Etihad and believe they can go there and get something, blood. You understand? We lose as well. That's gonna burst the whole bubble, because you have to realize as well, this is a very young team, blood. You get me? The only man that have been in title races is Zinni and Jesus in recent years. Jesus ain't even in the squad right now, blood. He's training, but you need, like, it's all good and well having him around, like, yo, come on, guys, But because these men are so young, you need him on the pitch, blood. You get me? And that's my fear. If we lose, it could go left, blood. You get me?
No, I hear that. Look, there's going to be pressure on both teams in it for this game, because City have the pressure of, obviously, they got the know-how in the title race, which is the edge on us, but they got the pressure that they win this game, they go above Arsenal. Will this be the first time he's at the top spot this season? Exactly. Yep. I don't think we've been knocked off just yet. So that's a little bit of a pressure for them. But at the same time, and they're going to be at the Emirates as well. And we know what the Emirates has been like this season. Obviously, did you go to the United game at home?
Nah, I'm funny. I went to the airport to get my flight for that game. It was like a 4:30 kickoff or something. Flight got delayed like 4 hours, and I was like, if I get on this plane, I'm going to miss the flight. So I binned it off.
All right. Now I was talking about the Arsenal United game. Still, I'm not gonna lie. No, but obviously, like, what they done is, like, bro, you know, like, they bring the clappers into the stadium. You know what I mean? Troops in it. You know, like on the seats.
Yeah, I see them putting it around on the seats.
Yeah, like the atmosphere now is improved levels, bro. If you've gone to the game 7-8 years ago, bro, you'll understand what I mean by the atmosphere changing. It's a total different kind of culture, and we've got to big up Mikel Arteta for that, because he's brought that into the club. But there's going to be pressure on both teams. The world is going to be watching this game. The absolute world is going to be watching this game. I don't think anyone's going to be taking their eyes off, and we just want to see. Well, personally, I just want to see Arsenal do you over, no matter how it is, no matter which way it is, 1-0, 6-0, any kind of way, you get me, Hugh. But what would you say would be our best way to attack you, our best way to get them points off you coming to the Emirates?
It's the polar opposite to the way you play, and that's been a problem for you in those last two games, which is that you haven't had, or the game that you drew with Brentford and you lost Everton, you didn't have a plan B. You know, when you couldn't break them down, you didn't have a way to revert to something else or try a different option. You kept doing what you're doing, the whole possession-based football, and try and break them down and that kind of thing. But the teams that do the best against us are, like the way Tottenham set up, a low block, hit us in the counter. The way United set up, low block and hit us in the counter. You do have the pacey players to do so. You definitely have the artillery in your locker to hit us that way, but you don't play like that, and you haven't done all season. So the thing is Arteta going to completely try and switch up for this fixture on the basis that you're likely to get a one-off result against City if you play that certain way that hurts us the most? Or is he going to stick to the way you've played all season? You know, high intensity, possession-based football, try and out-football us, which is something that we've been doing for years successfully. So I think if you were to set up with the low block and use Saka and Martinelli really fast down the wings, hit us on the counter, that's for me where I'd be most worried. But if you try to go toe-to-toe with us and do the possession-based stuff, I'm a lot more calm with that. I think we can break you down better.
Right. Okay. See, because for me, I would want to make a statement a little bit. I hear what you're saying. I think it makes a little bit of sense, but I think I want to make a statement. I don't know where you're at with it, Troopz, but if we do manage to beat City in a convincing fashion, that then elevates us back into new heights. That elevates us again into confidence boost. People not chatting shit about the Arsenal like we've been hearing all everywhere I'm looking at the moment. Man are chatting shit about Arsenal, you get me? And they got a point in certain standards because they're saying that, look, are Arsenal hitting the wall? Have they hit their ceiling and now they can't improve anymore? There's not another gear to go. So I can understand certain things, but we need to put all that to bed now. We need to put all that to bed. We need big performances from the likes of Granit Xhaka in midfield, Thomas Partey. You get me? The defense have to be on job. We're going to move on to predictions shortly. But just before I do that, I wanted to do a little combined 11. Yeah. I'm going to start with you first, yeah, Troopz. In goal, who are you going to have?
Blood, you know Ramsdale's my guy, but right now, blood, he's pissing me off, fam. You understand? And if we're being real, like, even if he wasn't pissing me off, Ederson's clear. Like, for me, Ederson's the best keeper in the league, blood. You get me? Like, I think he's better than Alisson. I'm not gonna lie, could be controversial, but for me, I really rate Ederson, bro. You get me? I rate him very highly. Say
no more. I'm guessing you're going with Ederson as well.
Actually, well, like, I mean, I'll go with it. Yeah, I'll take it. But I really like Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's more of a traditional goalkeeper than Ederson. And if you ask most City fans, Ederson's pissing a lot of us off right now. You know, his basic shot stopping often just isn't good enough. And then people say it's not his game. He's more of a playmaking goalkeeper, which is a term that's very new to me. Like, for me, the primary function of a keeper is to save shots, and he doesn't save shots all the time. So I'll go with Ederson because he has the experience and he's been there a lot longer. But I actually really like Aaron Ramsdale.
I think if you're going off a longer period of time, you'd have to say Ederson. I think if you're going off this season, for me, I think Aaron Ramsdale has been quality, and I think even in the games that we've dipped, he's kept us in it, or he hasn't really fucked around too tough. So obviously, I'm outvoted. I would have picked Ramsdale for it personally, but it looks like Ederson's in there. Right back, who are we going for right back? Obviously, we're going to go on off a season basis, though, not just off a few games. You know what I mean? I'll have to start with Ben White because I think throughout the season so far, he's been the most consistent right back, especially out of, you've had Rico Lewis and Kyle Walker there playing. He's been the most consistent in the team, and he's actually done a very good job being a centre back, pushed out to right back in a new position, and he's coped with it well. Troopz.
So what, we're going off form?
No, just this season.
Yeah, so form.
Is that, well, we're right. What, how many games in now? You know?
Yeah, like 18, 19. So what?
That's a long
City's. Yeah, man, your right back ain't really been doing that this year, but when you see man like Rico Lewis going in, you know something's going left, blood. You get me? But yeah, I'd probably have to go Benny Blanco. Like pre-World Cup, he was outstanding, but he needs to get back to that level.
Say no more. Hugh?
Yeah, I can't really make an argument here for a right back. Kyle Walker's, he's only finding full fitness again, like now, since the end of last season, on and off, constantly injured in and out of the team. And then Rico Lewis comes in, did pretty well when we saw him, but not enough to, I think Ben White's been absolutely class. So I'll give you Ben White.
Right, say no more. This is where it's a little bit of a tricky one because I think as a centre-back partnership this season, for me, I think Gabriel and Saliba have been the best. I think barring the last couple of games, if you've seen a little bit of a fall-off. Obviously, Laporte and Diaz, I don't think they've had much game time this season, have they?
I think that was the second time they played together all season on Sunday.
Yeah.
As a partnership, yeah.
Is there a centre-back that you would say that stands out for you? Obviously, Nathan Ake has been playing at left-back or anything like that. Or would you go with Gabriel and Saliba? Because I personally would go with Gabriel and Saliba, in my opinion, just because of the level of consistency.
I think I'd just give you Gabriel and Saliba, but I'll give an honourable mention to Nathan Ake, who in the first half of the season was playing left side centre half when, you know, Cancelo was there and whatnot, and he was class. Defensively, Nathan Ake is absolutely class, which is why I don't really want him at left back too much, because he doesn't offer much going forward. But listen, at the moment, based off the first half of the season, it's kind of hard to knock Saliba and Gabriel, isn't it?
Troopz, are you with that, or are you putting a City man in?
No, I'm with that. Them man, they've been solid. It's just Gabriel's been solid all season. Saliba's only fell off since World Cup, kind of like Ben White.
I think exactly, man. I think Ben White's had a big problem with Saliba as well. Trust me, man, because when you're a good centre back, you need a right back there to give you that support as well. You can't cover two positions on your own, especially when you're new in a team, you're young, you're not that experienced. You need that right back to be able to cover you well, and he's seeming to having to move into Ben White's position pretty often. So I think Ben White needs to step it up a little bit. We move on to left back now. Who's been playing at left back this season? Because I've been seeing Ake there.
Everyone. It's Cancelo, Ake, Laporte, Rico Lewis once, I think, as well. Like, we haven't had a proper nailed down left back.
So it looks like for me, it might have to be Zinchenko. Obviously, he's been the most consistent. You could argue Kieran Tierney as well, but I think what Zinchenko would give you in especially a game like this, he'd give you the overload in midfield and then take it from there. Troopz?
Yeah, it's got to be Zinny.
Sorry, Hugh, I just had my cat there chatting shit, didn't I? To give him a little one word. To give him a little one word. You get me? I had to mute the mic in it so you didn't see. But man ends up like Zima. Right, look.
Oh my days, blood.
We've got one position, I'd say, for centre defensive midfielder. Now you have Rodri and you have Thomas Partey.
Are we doing now? But how are we doing it? 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1? Because if it's 4-2-3-1, I'm going Partey and Rodri.
Nah. I think we need to go with the one DM, two attacks. I'll say Odegaard and De Bruyne and me, and then a Partey or a Rodri.
I think De Bruyne's been piss poor this season. I don't think De Bruyne gets into this team. If it was,
I don't think
if it's up to me, it's Partey. I'd go 4-2-3-1, and then obviously it'd be Partey and Rodri at the base of it.
Well, go on,
is where you can. All right.
Well, you're the star guest there as well. So go on, we'll let you have it, fam. You're the star guest. So
whoa, bro, you mad, blood? Don't try to throw that my way, blood. Hugh's the star, blood. Big six of them thing now. I'm just little Troopz, blood. Yeah, like Mr. Back again. That's it, bro. You get me?
What you going with, Hugh? Sorry, do you want to go with the 2 or do you want to go with the 1?
Well, we play with a 1, so I want to go with a 1.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm seeing, Troopz, man. Like, I don't know why everyone's on De Bruyne's back too tough. I don't think he's been that bad. Most of them goals that Haaland scored, bro. You're not seeing the deliveries on them.
Yeah, but when you look at them goals, he's just spamming, bro. It's just crossing inshallah. He's on his Trent vibe.
Nah, that's a bad boy. Crosses them, fam.
But it's just obviously the quality of ball is still like, you understand? But when like, bro, I'm from an era where stats don't matter, blood. Do you understand? Like, I'm done with this whole, he's got this amount, he's the best. No, blood. My eyes tell me,
bro, assist and goals always mattered, fam.
Nah. Bro, there was man, bro. From the era man grew up in, man weren't hitting off goals and assists the way that they do nowadays. Do you understand? Zidane weren't licking 10, 15 assists a season, bro, or 10, 15 goals, bro. And that guy's the best midfielder that man has seen kick ball, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm not hearing this stat thing, Prem. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know. The stat thing pisses me off, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The stat thing, it gets me mad.
All of this running and all of that shit, I get it. But when it comes to goals and assists, that shit matters, bro. And goals and assists matter because that's what we judge players on at the end of the day. Look when Thierry Henry was here, bro. Thierry Henry wasn't only a fantastic goal scorer. He was a bad boy assister. And every time we have an argument against any other player, bro, them shit, that stuff comes to the forefront. Believe me.
But Thierry Henry as a player as well, you understand? It's not just the goals and assists he had.
Yeah,
as
quality player.
He's on a different planet, blood. That's why we say he's the best player in the Premier League. Not because of his goals and assists, because of his whole play. He could get the ball from the halfway line and score by himself, blood. Do you understand? Like Pires, you get me? These man, they used to do good numbers. They weren't doing crazy numbers like De Bruyne, bro. But they were the world-class players at the time. Zidane, Scholes. These men were not doing numbers, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm from the real era. Like, I'm not on this. I'm not a new football fan, bro. You understand? I'm an old school football fan. You get me? Give me 4-4-2, blood.
Yeah. But look, nah, 4-4. I hear that, but you got to give De Bruyne his credit, thing. You got to give
De Bruyne's a bad boy,
credit, man.
De Bruyne's a bad boy. Nah, he's a bad boy. He's one of the best in the Premier League that we've seen.
He's so intelligent as a player, man.
This season, I'm not. I mean, I'm not really.
You wouldn't put him in the team, big man thing. You wouldn't put him in the team, De Bruyne. Are you being serious? You wouldn't have him in the team.
What, over Odegaard this season?
Nah, say we picked at 11 now, yeah.
Here, I'll tell you about De Bruyne. I'll tell you about De Bruyne, Prems. It's a case of De Bruyne standards are so fucking high. Like, people expect De Bruyne to be class all the time. I'm with Troopz on the basis that this season he hasn't been at that level. His stats would show otherwise. His stats are through the roof. I think he's still leading the assist chart, but he's got about 15. Yeah, man, but he hasn't banged the way he usually would. But the thing is, for me with De Bruyne, it's the same every single year. You have this conversation, the exact same conversation, us three again, this day next year. We'll say the exact same thing about De Bruyne. And then 6 months later, you say, shit, he was class. Second half of the season, he absolutely comes into it and he becomes a leader. But he definitely hasn't been at his best so far this season. I'd still go with him, though. Any combined 11, I'm putting De Bruyne in.
Because I'd have to go with, for me, I'd pay Partey over Rodri. And that's just throughout the season. I think Partey's been the overall better defensive midfielder. And I'd play Odegaard and Kevin De Bruyne as the two attacking. Obviously, I think that's pretty fair, to be fair. You know what I mean? I think De Bruyne, if we look through the whole season, I think over the last maybe a month or two, he's fallen off a little to his standards. But from the start of the season, bro, he was the guy that was pulling all the strings when City weren't really smacking it. He was the guy that was dragging them through. And you got to look at that as well, man. The intelligence on the player. You got to think Haaland's how many goals has Haaland scored this season? What's it, 25 in the Premier League?
He's on like 31 in all competitions, I think.
Bro, you take De Bruyne's assist away from him, bro. He ain't on them goals, bro. Do you know what I mean? He ain't on them. So you got to say the guys put the money on the plate for him. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have to go with him. I can't see anybody in our squad other than Odegaard. I ain't putting Fabio Vieira in there.
No. Like I said, I would have gone like Rodri, Partey, and then have them two sitting, and then you got the three, and then the man up top. That's how I would have gone in it. You understand?
But both teams don't really play with two centre defensive mids. Like, we have Xhaka, and he's more of a progressive player now. He doesn't really sit back, does he?
No, but the formation that I would play, I don't like this 4-3-3. I like the 4-2-3-1.
Right,
because in the 3 and the 1, the 3 and the 1, all four can interchange. All four, right. You understand? And then the 2 just sit. So when you get broken on, there's 2 at all times, because you're gonna have your left back and your right back going up as well, blood. Mm. So you're gonna have your 2 centre backs and your 2 in the midfield. So you've got 4 at the back at all times. So you can't really get broken on. You get me? I'm very yeah. But
so basically, when are we seeing you do your badges, fam? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because I'm hearing the most right now. I'm hearing Mandy playing FIFA too much. You get me? You stop playing FIFA, yeah? I'm telling you, bro.
I don't even play FIFA, blood. I swear down. The trainer even let me play the game, blood. I just got the P5 in his room, cuz.
Well, look, we'll keep it as that blend in it. Are we good though? Are we? Let's vote on an unanimous.
I'll say Odegaard and
De Bruyne. That's what I would say if I was trying to pick.
It's killing me, man. It's killing me not to put in Rodri, man. Rodri's my guy. He has been for years as well. Like, he does a lot of unrewarding work, Rodri. He doesn't get the praise he deserves sometimes, and he's playing with shitheads behind him sometimes with people like Akanji that it makes it even more difficult. I mean, like, Partey's job is made a lot easier by the fact that for the first half of the season, he had 2 beasts behind him in Gabriel and Saliba. But if Rodri gives away the ball, it could be curtains, because Akanji's not going to do much, is he? But I think, this has hurt me, man. But I think it's fair to give it to Partey based on the season so far.
There we go. We'll move on from this real quick, real swift then, yeah. Up front, I think you can't say anything but Haaland, in my opinion. I think Haaland's just been an absolute machine. Cyborg, looking like he's from a different planet. You get me? You give him the service, he's putting the ball in the back of the net, doing his job. On the right, obviously, I'm going to have to go with Bukayo Saka. We'll go with Troopz first.
Nah, Bukayo all the way, blood. You get me? But honorable mention to Riyad Mahrez, blood. He's been absolutely outstanding, bro. You get me? I've rated him from Leicester days, and for him to keep the consistency from way back in Leicester times to now, that's about 7 years, bro. He's been at the peak, bro. You understand? And he's missed out on titles because Leicester held him for that extra season when they were supposed to let him go. You understand? And yeah, man. honorable shout to Mahrez, but Macau Bloodclot Saka. He's the baddest thing right now, bro. You get me? Like, they're comparing Saka to Rashford. Rashford's like 5 years older than him, bro. Bring a man his age, blood. Why can't you bring a man his age? Cause no one's on their thing right now, blood. You understand? The only one who's on it. The only one who's on it is Philip. Philip's the only one that's on it, but Philip ain't really in the City squad right now. You feel me? So it's got to be Saka.
I think that is fair, giving him an honourable mention. But I think with Mahrez, I think he wasn't getting started from the start of the season, was he? Kind of got brought into it a little bit later on, didn't he?
The front three that we were loving was Grealish, Haaland, Foden, and that's still my favourite front three. They were absolutely class, but we haven't seen that front three since we beat United 6-3 for whatever reason. But the thing with Mahrez is, like, it's the same every season. It's the same thing I said about De Bruyne. With Mahrez, he always looks a little bit disinterested in the first half of the season, which is why he falls out of favour. And then for some reason, big Champions League nights, big Premier League games, he'll start banging in the goals, and everyone goes, "Oh,
is it his body language, Hugh? Because he's got that like it might be his body language, like, because he's got that who had it at Arsenal, blood? Who had it at Arsenal? And he used to, you'd look at him, you'd be like, he don't give a shit. Alexis would be like, but then he'll get the ball and he's like, oh. You're like, okay, there he is. He's alive, blood. Like.
No, that's Riyad, man. Riyad's the second half of the season merchant as well. And he's not just second half of the season. Like, he bangs when it really matters. You know, PSG, Dortmund, Premier League, you name it. He'll turn up. United, big game as well in the second half. So that's the thing with him. But I can't, like, this is annoying me now. It feels like an Arsenal team we're picking here because some of these City players haven't been. Hey, listen, Premsy, I demand we do this show again at the end of May, start of June. I demand we do it again, and we'll have a different.
Hey, I don't know. I'm trying to hang on to what we've got right about now. You get me? Before it all comes crumbling down, you get me? I'm trying to put a bit of faith in. Go on, we'll let you pick the left winger then. Let it be fair. Go on, you pick the left winger. Who you going with?
What, Jack?
Super Jack. This is my guy. He is the best left winger right now. Maybe bar Rashford, but Jack Grealish, underappreciated.
The guy said maybe bar Rashford. You know, like fucking hell, bro. Rashford's clear, man. Rashford's been doing a massive.
No, listen. I'm overdoing it. But the thing with Jack Grealish is he doesn't get the praise he deserves. He's been absolutely class this season.
Hey, listen, Hugh. Let me cut you there. I'm a
Grealish defender. I can't lie.
I don't know if you watch any of my stuff. But every podcast, even on Saeed's Best of the Rest, everything, when I've done Team 11s, I've said, you know what, Jack Grealish, Premier League unpacked as well. And everyone's killing me that I'm saying Jack Grealish or tear down because he doesn't get the numbers. But I think he's been one of City's best players this season. So I'm a defender of him as well.
Man, Jack's my guy. Jack's my guy. I've defended him all of last season. Every Big Six show, every channel I went on, he's not getting the G&A, you know, he's not the same player. Pep's ruined them. I said, listen, Mahrez took a season. Bernardo took a season. Gundo took a season. All these top players, Kyle Walker took a season. All these top players we brought in, they don't look themselves when they first arrived at the club. It's like a new surrounding. They're kind of getting used to the fields. Pep's feeding them loads of tactics they've never heard of, all sorts of mad shit in the dressing room. Grealish was the same, and he said it himself at the end of last season, lads. He said, listen, I was terrified. And it took courage for a player to speak like this because they don't do it often. He's like, I was terrified of giving away the ball. I was almost intimidated by Pep. I was afraid of making mistakes because I was in this City team now that had been winning for years. I'd come from Aston Villa. It was a level up, and I was afraid. And we're okay, all right, fair enough. It is what it is. Bring it into next season and change things up. He's taking the shackles off. He's taking man on. He's taking shots. He's crossing with his left foot. He's beating players. Man, have you ever seen a player that's doubled and tripled up on as much as Jack Grealish? Why is that the case? If he's that bad, why are teams doubling and tripling up on him? Because they're
I'm seeing that with Martinelli, though, still. I'm not going to lie, you know, bro. And Saka manager's putting 5 man on him. You get me? Not letting him have a sniff because they know what time
Martinelli's a bad boy as well, man. Martinelli's a bad boy as well. But with Jack Grealish, he's been class this season and he's been unlucky. People like, I'm with Troopz. I don't focus on stats. If the team is winning and he's being picked in that team, I don't care if he's not scoring at all. If the team's winning and he's in that team, I'm happy. I don't care if he doesn't score a single goal. It doesn't bother me as long as we're winning. So with Jack Grealish, like he doesn't get the praise he deserves, basically. I'll defend him like my life depends on it.
No, the eye test is the most important test, isn't it? Like that is the most important test. But obviously, for me, we always do judge strikers and certain players off their goals and assists because that's a massive part of the game, innit? And you got to look at it. That isn't a stat that people could just say. That's a stat that's been running for years since man have been in their nappies, bro. You got to understand. My dad's a lot older than all of us here, bro, and he's been supporting Arsenal since before we were born. And they were always talking about goals and assists, even in them days. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? Like man's been up to Highbury and nappies, fam. Do you know what I mean? So like I hear that. I understand about the XG and all of this and how much distance he's doing and how many tackles he's recovering and all that. That's going overboard, innit? But the stats that affect the game is the stats that matter, innit? So that's where I stand on it. But like I said, the eye test, I get it 100%. But Martinelli's got to be brought into this conversation. I like Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish has done very well this season. Troopz, give us your fight for Martinelli, bro, because I know you love Martinelli. I know he's your guy. I know that.
Man,
I seen that post. You know what I mean, Dag?
Yeah, him, Saka, you get me? Like I said about the Eddie Defense League, go back in your blood clot yard. I am the Martinelli Defense League. I am the Bakao blood clot Saka Defense League, blood. For me,
I thought you were going to say you're the English Defense League, then I'm fucking up.
No. That's the Eddie Defense League, you get me? Fuck Tommy Robinson and them little pussy on there, you understand? But, you get me? But fucking... Nah, Martinelli, like, I'm a big Grealish fan. Let me start first. I'm a big Grealish fan. I'm like you. Every episode, Czar is trying to kill Grealish. 100 million bum. What's he done this weekend, Troopz? Rare tear. I'm like, bro, eye test, fam. You understand? The guy's very good on the ball. Hughes basically said it all. Martinelli now, yeah? The one thing I wanted from Gabby was goals, yeah? Because that's all he was missing from his game. He had everything in his game, but he was just missing the goals. He has added that to his game now, blood. You understand? Martinelli, he can go left. He can go right. He's got pace. He's got power. He can play along the whole front line. Grealish can't really play as a false 9, blood. You get me? He can play on the wings. He can play in the 10. If you put him in the false 9, I think you're getting more out of Martinelli, blood. You get me? I think you're getting a lot more. Because Martinelli's a player where he can play on the last man. You never see Grealish do that. Martinelli can play that as well, blood. He's got... Like, on the ball, I'd say Grealish is better, but I think Martinelli's got a bit more to his game. He was a key part of this Arsenal team getting at the top of the league. In the big games, he's turned up, bro. You get me? He's got big moments this season, bro. You understand? So, for me, you have to go with Martinelli, blood. You understand? You saw when he played for Brazil, the impact he even had in their blood. The little impact when he come on and he's like, you're like, yo, this brother here, blood. You understand? But honourable shout to Grealish. Yeah. You got to go with Martinelli, though.
He's rated very highly. Look, even Pep Guardiola come out after the FA Cup game and said,
Jurgen Klopp as well.
What a weapon to have on you to come off the pitch. You know what I mean? To come on at the end. But you know what?
And he's young. Look at the age, blood. Was Grealish was always cold as a youth, yeah? I've always liked Grealish. But Martinelli, at this age, he's above Grealish, blood.
Listen, I'm a Martinelli fan, and the thing is, I got crucified for it, but on a Big Six a couple of weeks ago, I said, I'd take Martinelli over Rashford, and look at that's worked out. Rashford's gone and scored every week since, so it's come back to
So it's your fault, blood.
Listen, no, I think Martinelli's sick, but the thing is, you said about Martinelli can play across the front three. Jack Grealish isn't really playing where he's meant to play either. He was turned into a left winger. Jack Grealish is naturally, for me, he's a midfielder. There's nothing more beautiful for me as a City fan than when I see Jack Grealish drop deep into almost where the 6 is, pick the ball up and make a driving run through the middle of the pitch, and there's defenders throwing themselves at Jack Grealish, trying to take him down, and eventually someone will, and he'll earn a free kick. That's Jack Grealish's game. It's different to Martinelli. They're very different players, but they both suit the systems they're in a lot better. So it's kind of pick your poison.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that one open. You can have either or in that position rather than going with someone setting it, because I can't really pick. I'll be honest, like Martinelli, I love Martinelli, and I've rated him since the moment he's walked through the doors at Arsenal at 17 years old. But with Jack Grealish this season, I've seen a very good Jack Grealish. I've been watching City play. The way he just draws in fouls, the way he's actually been playing with the ball at his feet, I think it's quality, and he's been pretty consistent throughout the whole season. Jack Grealish, I think, over late, Martinelli's, I won't say he's fallen off. I think he just hasn't been at the same heights that he has over the start of the season. So it's hit or miss for me. I can't really pick, bro. I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to leave that one open. But let's move on to predictions now before we wrap it up. Troopz, give me a prediction. With your heart and your head.
My heart says 2-1. My head says 1-1.
You? Heart and your head? Or they're both the same thing? Because you know these City fans are low-key, cocky.
That's what I'm saying. These men are bastards, blood. We'll be like, 3-1 with my heart, 4-1 with my head. You see, I got the Irish thing on Smash, bro. My girl's Irish, bro. You mad? I got that a lot, bro. I'm round you, man, a lot, blood. Trust me. I got that a lot, blood. You like that one, innit?
My heart, friends, it says 2-0, and my head says 2-1. I think we're winning either way, personally.
Oh, fucking
you
hell,
can't blame him, blood, because their record at Emirates is ridiculous, bro. I can't even.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Listen, there's nobody knows more about hoodoo than me, man. Every time we go to that White Hart Lane place, we get absolutely smashed up. I know about teams that when you play against them, you just don't have a chance. I'm not saying you don't have a chance, but you haven't beaten us in the league since 2015. That's a big psychological barrier for Arsenal. Can this young, inexperienced team overcome that? Maybe. I mean, I think you can beat us, but I just think we're in a place now where we can carry that momentum. All of what happened last week, the performance against Villa, carry that in too. And also we're playing a team that hasn't beat us since 2015. I think it's going to be a class game. For me, it's the new City Liverpool. It's the new blockbuster that if you don't even follow the Premier League, you want to watch this game because you're so intrigued as to what could happen. Two managers worked together before, two great possession-based teams. One's top of the league now. One can overtake the other. I just trust Manchester City.
Yeah. Say no more. I'm saying my heart says 3-0 to Arsenal. You get me? That's my heart. But my head, my head tells me that, you know, talking about this hoodoo stuff, Arsenal have overcome a lot of our hoodoos this season as well. We've gone to grounds that we haven't won at and we've won. Teams have come to the Emirates that we haven't beat and we beat. And I'm just hoping to God that this is the same situation. And I'm going with a 2-1 Arsenal win. I think we need this victory. I think just like User found a little bit of form, User coming to face a wounded animal. And it's not going to be that easy that everyone thinks it's going to be. Do you know what I mean? At home, we are a different animal. I think Brentford is going to come. I mean, not Brentford. City are going to come and play totally different to how Brentford did. And I think that is going to play into our hands. I think we're going to be able to play our game, be more expansive, go toe-to-toe with City. And if, like we said, every single person, every single fan have said Arsenal played the best football this season. So if the best City turn up from this season and the best Arsenal turn up from this season, I think we should get one over you. So I'm going to go with 2-1 to the Arsenal. But we'll all link up after the game. We'll all link up after the game and see what happens.
Maybe.
I'm hearing Hugh after they got beat by United at Old Trafford on the
don't listen to Saeed, man. He waffles, man. Saeed the waffler.
I heard you even know where to be seen, so I'll have to wait and see, you know what I mean? But people, we've come to the end of the stream. Both channel links are going to be in the description. Sorry, make sure you subscribe to Hugh, subscribe to Troopz if you don't know Troopz. But if you've been living under a rock and I don't understand, you get me. This is one of the biggest Arsenal guys out there. It's an honor to have you on. It's an honor to have you on as well, Hugh. You get me. You're doing big things on the Big Six, bro. Thank you both for coming on. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share, people. Peace and love. We'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Gunners. Let's fucking have it.
Come on, City.
Up the gun.